Hello and welcome to On the Hook Crochet. I'm glad you're back. Thanks for joining me, and this is the channel where we talk about wearable crochet style, and today is no exception. I have finished the bamboo pop top is what I'm calling it because I use bamboo pop yarn to make this, but it is a sleeve, cap sleeve, little bit of just a blouse that I'm wearing over a tank top underneath because it is a little bit see-through, and as you know, I'm a little modest, so I'm wearing this with a tank underneath. Of course, you might be able to get away with it, or you could wear it with a camisole. I don't know if y'all know what those are, but they have little tiny straps, and they're a little less coverage than a tank top, but they are a little more modest than just wearing underclothes under it. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention that I am wearing a tank top under this, and it's black, and I'm also wearing this with a pair of black pants, so it gives it that one color look, and then with the pop of color at the top. I really love this red. This has turned out really pretty. Very pleased with it. So let me tell you a little bit about this top. It's similar to the America Tank, and if you look back at my video that says America Tank on it, you can't miss it. And I've actually created some playlists now because people were asking me, where are your sweater videos? And so I put all those in a playlist, and that's where the America Tank is. It's in the sweaters and tops playlist. So you can jump on my channel and just take a look, or I might try to see if I can put a playlist link down below. I haven't done that yet, but I'll try it. Sure, I can figure it out. So let me tell you about this top that I made. It is all done in double crochet except for the edgings, and we'll talk about that in just a second. But the top is made to my measurements, and again, if you go back and look at the America Tank, I tell you how to measure for the tops that you're making, that they're your own design. You can measure yourself and make a top just like this with no problem. What I did was I measured myself from side seam to side seam, which would be, if you have a pair of jeans on, just go from one seam to the other. Loosen it just a little bit how you want the sweater to fit. This one has a little bit of give. It's really the same measurement as the America Tank. For me, those are my measurements. They will not be your measurements probably. So I measure side to side, leave it a little bit loose so that it won't be too tight, and then double crochet back and forth, chaining 2 at each end all the way to the top. Now we'll talk about the edging in just a second, but I took this actually, and I'll show you, I took this up higher than I did the America Tank. I really wanted a little bit more coverage in the back, so I crocheted a little bit longer piece for the back. And then when I came to the front, I did the neck edge just like I described in the America Tank, and down in the description on the America Tank video you can see the specific crochet instructions for creating the scoop neck. It is not hard, extremely easy. So both of these pieces, front and back, are made exactly the same except for the neck scoop, and again, that is a very easy part of the sweater to do. The sleeves are built into the front and back, so there's no sleeve set-ins to do. The only seams are at the shoulder and down the side. And actually on this one I used a slip stitch to connect the two pieces together, and it went really quickly. The one thing you have to remember is you make sure that you anchor it very well on each side, because that stitch will come out just like a crochet stitch will. So you have to be sure that you either knot, which I'm not a big fan of, but in that case I would knot here and knot there, and make sure you're tying it on tightly so that the seam does not unravel, and if something happened to it, it would just absolutely just come apart. But it is an easier stitch to use to connect the two pieces together. You can also use a mattress stitch, any kind of stitch that you want to use to connect two pieces of sweater together. All you have to do is connect it with either a needle and thread, this thread, or a slip stitch seam right there on the shoulder and then down the side. Make sure that you measure to be sure you have the opening for the sleeve exactly the same on both sides. Now, what I did at the edges of this particular top, at the bottom edge, I did 1 row of single crochet, 3 rows of lace. And what I did that for was to give it a little interest at the bottom. You can certainly leave off that lace stitch, and if I did that, I would probably put 4 rows of single crochet, because I did 4 rows of single crochet here on the edges of the sleeves, and I did 4 rows around the neck, and it gives it a really nice finished look, and it's solid, so that when you pull it over your head, you know, you don't have lace stitches stretching. This will not stretch. And another thing that I did on the next to the last row of single crochet here, I did 2 rows of single crochet. On the 3rd row, I decreased 1 stitch at this point. Now, if y'all look at that, I did a single crochet together, 2 together, 1 here and 1 here. So what I did was I marked the center of the sweater with a stitch marker. I counted over, in my case, 7 stitches on each side, and that is where I put my single crochet 2 together stitch. So I started on stitch from the center, 8 and then 7. Those were the 2 stitches that I connected together. The way you do that very quickly, you put your hook through the first stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, go into the next stitch, which would be stitch number 7 here. You go into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then yarn over, pull through all 3 loops. And that will do 2 single crochets together. And what that does is that makes it a little bit smaller right there, so that it pulls the edging in. Just doing the single crochet with a smaller hook, which is of course what I used. And about the hook sizes, I should have gone over this. I used a J hook to make the body of the sweater. I used a K hook, which is a little bit bigger. I used a K hook to chain. I used a J hook for the body, and I used an I hook for the neck and the sleeve trim. Those are the hook sizes that I used to make this top. This is my bamboo pop top. I used 574 yards. I kept track of it. I used 2 balls like this. I originally had 3 and I have 1 left. And I have a little bit of yarn left from the second ball, probably 10 yards maybe. And this is the yarn that I used. It's called Bamboo Pop. It's 1/2 cotton, 1/2 bamboo, and it's very comfortable, very soft. It's a number 3 yarn, and the color is rose. So if you want to make this top exactly like this, this is what you would order. I think I got this off Love Knitting. I might have gotten it from Amazon. I can't remember, but both places have it. And the Destin Yarn Shop has it. I saw it there. So a lot of places carry this, and you can order it online, or you can go to a yarn store and find it. I haven't seen it at places like Joann's and Michael's. I'm not sure if they carry this. They might, but I don't go in there often enough to check out and see exactly what yarns they do have. I think you all should try this. It is not hard to do. It is very similar to the America Tank. The only thing I did differently with this, that I used more rows of single crochet at the neck. On the America Tank, I think I used 2. But this one I wanted more, so I just put 4 rows. You can put as many rows as you want till you get it the way you want it to look. And then if you're using a substantial number here, you should do the same thing on the sleeves, I think, but that's my opinion. I matched the same number, but I could have used 3 or 4 more rows here. It made the sleeves a little bit bigger. That would be fine too. Or I could have used 3 rows of lace to match the bottom on the sleeve, and then finish it off with some single crochet rows. There are a multitude of things you can do to make it your top. So that's what I would hope that you would do. So join me next time to find out what's on the hook.